Hello guys and welcome to Stevie TV. We are here for the Premier League preview for game week 6. We've got games such as Man United versus Spurs, Newcastle versus Man City. Who's going to win those, guys? Let's go to the predictions and find out. But before we do, guys, like, share and subscribe to the channel, because each and every individual subscriber helps this channel out massively, and also sharing it out gets new people into the channel. And it just helps with the algorithm, guys. So please share it out and we'll get on to these predictions now. And the first game is Newcastle versus Manchester City. Last time out, Newcastle lost to Fulham and it looked like they should have won that game, really. But they actually lost 3-1. Fulham just convincingly took over. And really, with the way that the league fell, Newcastle should have got the victory there. But this is Premier League football. This is exactly what happens. Other teams can turn up at any time. And Fulham did that against Newcastle. And I don't think Newcastle are going to turn up against Manchester City in this one. I'm going with a 3-1 win to Manchester City. I feel like they played well against Arsenal, Man City. And they're just going to keep that unbeaten streak going for a little bit longer. They will struggle a little bit more. Rodri is out for the rest of the season, unfortunately for City. But it's going to be a big, massive miss. Can Newcastle take advantage? Like I said, I don't think they will, but there's a chance that they might. And if they do, City do not look strong when Rodri is not usually in the squad. So anything could happen this season now. Moving on to Arsenal themselves now. It's Arsenal versus Leicester. Leicester got a draw against Everton last time out, and Arsenal got a draw as well. So both teams looking for that victory. I think I'm going to go with an Arsenal win here. I'm going to go with Arsenal 2-0. I just think they're superior, better. One thing they will miss though is Trossard. Trossard did get a red card in the Man City game for kicking the ball away, similar to the Rice situation. I think that Arsenal, their top goal scorer, or one of their best goal scorers, is Trossard. And he has changed most games this season, and he will be a miss for Arsenal, but I do think they'll win convincingly in this one, 2-0. Next, we've got Brentford versus West Ham. Both teams looking for that victory. They both lost and conceded 3 goals each in the last game week. So I feel like this one could be a close, competitive one. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I feel like both teams equal each other out. West Ham haven't got to that scoring type of team yet. They haven't managed to fit players like Fulkrug into the side. Just the way that they play just doesn't work for him that way. But Kudus, he hasn't started getting those goals yet, but he will shine at some point. And I feel like this could be the game that he could turn up in. But I'm still going with that draw. I think, like I said, Brentford, they set up the right way, don't they? They're a mid-table team and they just need to go and get that point. If they can win, then fair enough, go for the win. I feel like West Ham have enough in the defence to keep them out a bit. So, like I said, 1-1. Next up is Chelsea versus Brighton. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Chelsea win here. As you know, Chelsea could be literally anything. They could be anything. Like, they do turn up on games, they don't turn up on games. They're so inconsistent, it's so random. The more inconsistent than Manchester United, in my opinion. But this team needs to start clicking together, and I think they slowly will do this season. So when they start clicking, they'll start getting the results consistently. But I'm going to go with that 1-0 win to Chelsea. I just think they've got a better team than Brighton. But Brighton could turn it on and get the result or get a point from this game. Everton versus Palace next. Obviously, Everton have had some mad results this season in terms of losses. They did manage to pick up a point in the last game, but Palace, obviously a big, big threat for Palace. Palace managed to get a point against Manchester United. They held on, looked like they can sit there defensively, look comfortable. But this is the game where Palace can be tested against Everton and just see what level Everton are at and what level Palace actually are this season. I think Palace will finish mid-table, but I'm going to go with a Palace 1-0 win here. I think Everton just don't have enough, and I feel like they might struggle against Palace's attack. Forest versus Fulham. I've got Fulham to win this 3-0. I feel like Fulham are on a run at the moment. They've managed to go and beat Newcastle 3-1. They did it convincingly as well. Whereas when you look at Forest picking up points, but they just seem, I think they're unbeaten to be fair, but they seem to be getting a lot of draws. I just feel like this is the time that they're going to fall, and Fulham are going to chop that Forest down and break into that defence, I think. So look at Muniz. I think Muniz is going to get a goal. He's on fire. and he's doing great for Fulham. So what a signing he's been for him. And like I said, Fulham for the win in this one. We move on to Wolves versus Liverpool. This time I'm going to go with a Liverpool win 2-1. As we've mentioned in most of my predictions, I believe Wolves are going to go down. And they are seriously struggling this season in terms of getting a result. So I think Liverpool are going to win this. But I just think that Wolves can break down that defence and get an early goal. And then Liverpool will just start to turn it on. And then it'll finish 2-1 to Liverpool. Ipswich versus Aston Villa next. As we all know, Aston Villa are on form at the moment. They are firing. They're getting goals out of nowhere. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win here. I think that Ipswich are going to go and get a goal. Just Ipswich have managed to find the net in most of their games this season. They have a good attacking side. They just don't seem to have enough quality about them in terms of competing in the Premier League. As well as Villa, they're a far superior team and squad to Ipswich. So I think that they're going to win this convincingly, 3-1. Now we're going to move on to Manchester United versus Spurs. I don't know where this game's going to go. Man United were held to a 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace after having multiple attempts on goal after a great game from Henderson. If they start the same way and actually finish the chances, Man United could get a good victory out of this. But obviously everyone knows what Spurs can do. They can be dangerous. They can get some good results sometimes. And they play better against the big six sides, I think. And I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this. I'm going to hold out the fact that Man United might actually get a point. But they are struggling and they need to get more than a point, Man United. But I feel like Spurs is going to be too much of an ask. So I'm going to go 1-1 and hope that the Old Trafford crowd is going to keep Man United in this one. Just to add to that, I feel like Ten Hag is in trouble at the moment. If he doesn't get a good result in this and he gets beat convincingly, then his job might actually be on the line here. I think that it's getting to that point, especially with some fans. I don't think there's a manager out there. There's only really Tuchel out there. But for some fans, like myself, we've had enough. We don't want to see this every single week. But like I said, holding on for the result. And I think that we're going to go and get that 1 point. We should get the 3, but I think we're going to stick with the 1. The last game now, Bournemouth versus Southampton. This is I think the most South you can beat in the Premier League. And it's going to be a weird game, this one. I think it's going to be a very strange game. I think Bournemouth have a better team. I feel like Southampton really aren't getting anywhere in the Premier League this season. They are going to struggle. And I think they will be the first team that go down. But I'm going to go with a Bournemouth 1-0 win here. And I think it's going to be closer than we think. I think Southampton are going to get chances. But I just don't think they've got enough, really, have they? They've not got enough. And Bournemouth, they have a couple of good players in there which can go and get goals. Like Semenya. Cook's even a decent player in the midfield. And like I said, they're just a better squad than Southampton. But this is a bit of a rivalry, so anything could happen in a rivalry or a derby kind of game. Let's see what happens, guys. These are my predictions. This is my Premier League preview. I hope you've liked it, guys. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm Stevie C and I'm out.